Hello and welcome to a new reaction video. My name is Larissa and today I am going to react to the 4th episode from Avatar: The Last Airbender. At this moment the show has been out for 4 days, so there's already like a bit more comments from other people, what they think about it and all. The first 3 reactions I recorded them on the first day it came out, so I didn't really have a lot of insight in what other people thought of it and what like the general view on it was. Personally, from all of my friends I only got like positive messages like, oh my god, Avatar, it's so good. I've seen some negative ones, but I talked about that before and I think that's just always gonna be like that. People have their own opinions and they're allowed to have them, of course. But yeah, up to now, most of the stuff I read was very positive, and I think the thing I saw most people had like a comment on was that they ruined Sokka's personality, and I was like, oh, but I really liked Sokka's personality here, like even more. And then I was kind of curious, like, why do I like Sokka more here? And then people were saying they made him less misogynistic. I was like, oh my god, yeah, they did. And I think that is like, without realizing it, the reason I didn't really feel that much for him as a kid. He was always pretty sexist and made sexist jokes, and he was funny, but I never really liked that aspect. And even as a child, I was already like, how is this funny, you know? And I think because that's happening less now, I just see Sokka more for like who he is, as in he's just trying to protect his village, he's trying to protect his sister, he's just like, I see him more for like a good guy. And of course he's just a child, but like my personal opinion is that I like this Sokka a little better than the animated version. And I know there's people who absolutely don't agree with me, but I know there's also people who absolutely do agree with me. I feel like there's like, you're either on this side or that side, but I feel like there's no in between, because I read a lot of discussions about that. When I started thinking about that, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. I think that's why I like him better right now. There were also some comments on that people liked him less because he's less goofy. And there I'm like, okay, I get what they mean there. Like, I feel like in the animated series, he was also like a bit clumsy, you know? And I think they kind of took that away here too. And that is something I would still like kind of like to see coming back a bit. But yeah, the Sokka mystery has been cleared up to me. Also, like, suddenly I was like, oh my god, Suki and Sokka, they're so cute together. And I feel like I never really felt that before. Like, of course, I was fine with them being together and all, but this was the first time I was like, whoa, they have like real chemistry, you know? So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Just wanted to like address that before starting this episode, because I saw a lot of people falling over that. Yeah, for the rest, I think up to now people are like very positive, and yeah, I'm really excited to continue watching. I saw some people who just watched the full show in an entire day, and honestly I feel like if I wasn't making reactions I would have done that too. But luckily I still have 5 episodes left, so yeah, here we are. And before I start, I want to tell you that you can already see more of these episodes. You can get early access to my reactions, and you can also see my full reactions to the episodes. They're available on my Patreon, the link is in the description. So check it out if you're interested. And then now I'm going to react to this episode. I didn't really check the name or anything, so I have no idea what we're gonna see. But I think we left off with like meeting Zed and all, and then realizing Zed is not as good as he says he is. So I think that's gonna be like a subject in this episode. So let's find out.
The fires weren't my fault, and neither was the fight.
Are most definitely not.
Oh yeah.
Circumstances.
General Iroh.
It's good to see you, young Avatar.
And Zuko.
With any luck, he's probably halfway back to his ship by now.
He started the fight and left you behind and ran away. I'm really starting to see what kind of person he is.
Start putting him up to Zuko. No, but Iroh said it himself, like, save yourself.
Were you working with the enemy?
It's complicated.
No, it's not. It's a simple question. Were you helping the firebenders?
Probably against his own will.
Yes. Teo, I was trying to protect you. The firebenders said that they would kill us, attack the city if I didn't cooperate.
Yeah,
the only reason Omashu has been left alone is because of whatever small service I provided them.
Service? Is that what you call giving weapons to the enemy?
Just minor designs, nothing of any value in war.
Anything can be turned into a weapon in the wrong hands.
We do what we must.
My father would have never done what you did.
Aang's in prison.
Oh, is that Zed? No, that was Fire. That was Zuko. I realized that a bit too late. Yeah, I remember this storyline. Into the dark. Yeah, I mean, that's not saying too much. So, with Umashu, it was like, yeah, we're going to Umashu. Oh!
Oh, hey, Bumi. How's training?
Bumi!
I'm doing all right with my forms, but looks exactly like a sky bison. Supposed to be a badger mole. You sure?
Cities are like people. They always have their dark side.
Seems pretty dark on all the sides these days.
Is that what a title represents? He's in the dark now?
Century of war will do.
A war started by the Fire Nation, and a war the Fire Nation could end.
If it were only that simple. My brother, the Fire Lord, victory or defeat. Nothing else matters. Not even the loved ones lost along the way.
That's why Zuko's so hot to catch me? So he can win this war? For his dad? You could show him this isn't the way. He'll listen to you. He owes you that much.
It is I who owe him.
The only way in or out is through the palace. I'm sorry. The Avatar's lost.
No, you'll just have to go through the palace.
You can get us into the palace.
What about the tunnels?
Tunnels?
A fairy tale.
You told me you've seen them. Unless that was a lie too.
This is your way to make up for
There
it.
are tunnels. If you believe the tales, vengeful spirits guard the passages.
Help us get inside.
Where are you taking him?
An Earth Kingdom labor camp for prisoners of war. No one who's been sent there has ever been heard from again.
Oh.
You're not as lucky. You're going to see the king.
The Firebenders made it clear, any resistance and they'll send everything they've got at us.
Let them come. The Avatar has returned to the world. It's time to stop hiding.
Yep.
It's time to fight.
Yeah, if you give up now, there's never anything gonna change. I think this is really your best chance right now.
The prisoner you requested. He was caught fighting. He's an airbender.
Lotus root, pine bark, dried jasmine. Tea?
Okay.
Okay.
The savior of the world. He is
The
the
Avatar.
Avatar. Very, very good at rock skipping.
Bumi?
Hello, Aang.
Bumi!
That's what it took him to recognize him, the laugh.
More importantly, how are you still alive? I'm still a child.
How is he 100 years old?
Pine bark? What idiot told you to put pine bark in it?
Shoot.
You did.
Throw him a feast.
Nice.
Jet,
You betrayed us.
I stopped you from killing innocent people.
Innocent?
Not everyone out there is the enemy.
If you stand against us, you are. I thought you were on our side. On my side.
Jet, you've forgotten what you're fighting for. I remembered she never wanted bitterness to fill my heart. That's how I know you've ended up on the wrong side. You're fighting because of hate, just like the Firebenders.
I am nothing like the Firebenders.
Goodbye, Jet.
Look at the power you have. That's because of me.
That wasn't you. That was me.
You! You don't belong here.
I'm late. I'm already in enough trouble this month.
The old firebender was taken to the pit. The other one's still here.
Other one.
Yeah, the bald kid.
Yeah, now you have to choose. Who are you gonna get out of there?
What are you gonna do?
Kangaroo Island. They practically jump into your mouth.
I don't see how this was like worse. As in they sent Iroh somewhere he would never get back from and it sounded really awful. And they were like, but you're not as lucky. You're going to the king and he's just getting a feast.
I don't eat meat.
That's right, you don't.
Was this a test?
What? A test?
Ah.
No. More like a game. Frozen in an iceberg for 100 years, huh? Nice.
No, it was a nightmare.
People are dying, and you, who got to sleep through it all.
And I wasn't there to help them. It was a tragedy, which is why I need to get to the Northern Water Tribe as soon as possible. Which is why you need to let me go.
I honestly think if he didn't know Aang, then it would have been worse to meet the king, actually.
Don't you care?
You dare tell me I should care? Have you been fighting the same fight?
Yeah, Bumi has been through some shit.
You may be 100 years old, but you haven't lived for 100 years. Especially. You find yourself in darkness, rocks and stone, every deep inside. Shake it. Dig a bit, jewel of my heart.
What are you doing here?
We're doing what we're doing.
Right, but
Acoustics. Best in Omashu.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're all...
Oh, dude, now I know what episode this is. Yeah. See, that's what it's like when you've rewatched it 3 years ago. It's just like kind of coming back.
No, these aren't the tunnels. Those are the tunnels. I want to go in there. You should probably see this. Tale of Two Lovers.
Yeah.
Oma and Shu met on top of the mountain that divided their two villages. The villages were enemies, so they couldn't be together. They learned earthbending from the badger moles, becoming the first earthbenders. They built elaborate tunnels so that they could meet secretly. But one day, Oma didn't come. She'd been killed in an attack. She declared the war over. Both villages helped her build a new city where the city was named Omashu as a monument to their love. Love is brightest in the dark. Remember that.
Good luck. Honestly, this group, they look like a group of stoners.
There's nothing to be afraid of in there.
there's no such thing as angry spirits.
They're doomed.
Yeah.
I'm flattered. It's just a precaution. There are many around these parts who'd be very interested to know that the famed Dragon of the West is in their midst. Someone might be tempted to take matters into their own hands. We can't let that happen, can we? Is there anything I can do to make your journey more comfortable?
I'm fine.
Come on, don't hesitate to speak up. It's a long ride to the pit. And I've got all the time in the world.
I always forget that this actor was also in Star Wars. And I think it's mostly because of the hair and the beard and the moustache he has now. So you don't recognize him that quickly. But every time I look on IMDb and I'm like, oh yeah, of course, this guy.
It means you should be careful where you step.
Bumi, what is this?
Maybe I just wanted to play a game, like we did back in the old days. I just wanted a bite of rock candy.
They look pretty tasty. Okay. He did go after his uncle.
I'm coming, uncle.
By the way, remember in like one of the last few episodes I said that the actor who plays Zuko has like a bit of his head is too round to play Zuko, but I saw him with like normal hair and then he doesn't. So I really think it's just like the Zuko hairstyle that makes it look like that. I can't wait for his hair change. Always think he looks so much better after that.
Well, what do you know? Love is brightest in the dark. You have to let it get dark so you can follow the light. That's how you find the path.
Smart Sokka.
Love is all you need. Love makes the world go round.
Now you're listening to the minstrels? My problem is you're not taking me seriously. I'm not a little girl anymore.
Yet you keep acting like one. The girl who fell for a terrorist.
That's not what happened.
You should have never talked to him.
You don't get to tell me who I can talk to.
And you don't get to just ignore me. Dad put me in charge.
You're not Dad!
They really made the beasts look very good. They look very similar.
Firebenders don't need water, right? You know, Ba Sing Se, the city had to ration fresh water after the first year of the siege.
My brother, though.
He'd gather food and water from his platoon and give them to the children. He was on watch. The night you torched the eastern wall.
Ooh, so I get the personal beef, yeah.
There was nothing left of him to bury. He was 19. All those lives lost, and Ba Sing Se still stands. Was it worth it? We were at war. I was a soldier. You were a butcher.
I can still smell smoke when I go to sleep at night. Never really goes away.
I always feel really bad for Iroh, but I also always try to keep in my mind, like, he fought for the Fire Nation as well. And yeah, he might be banished now, but still Fire Nation.
Is that your pitiful way of saying you're sorry for what you did?
I wasn't talking about me.
Sir.
It's just like I feel bad for him because Iroh is just like this lovely uncle, you know, that's kind of how we know him, but you also have to think about his past, you know? And I get why people are mad at him. Like, I fully understand this man.
Is it true he abandoned the siege?
Yeah, after his son was killed.
So his son dies a hero and he'll be forever known as a coward.
Take comfort in knowing that Lutan will forever be hailed as a champion.
Thank you, Ozai.
His sacrifice will be enshrined in legend.
Uncle, what a great honor for you and for Lutan to die in the service of the Fire Nation. When my studies weren't going well, Lutan gave me this. He'd won it for finishing first in his officer class. He said it should belong to someone destined to do great things. It gave me strength. Lutan never needed it because he was the strongest person I knew.
Mom died and not how she lived.
I also saw this one comment and I thought it was kind of funny. Like, yeah, they really didn't stick to the original material. Katara isn't whining every 5 minutes about her mom. And I was like, yeah, that's one thing I noticed too. Like, I feel like in the animated series, she talked about her constantly.
What I said about you and Dad.
Forget it.
You led the tribe and protected us with nobody to help you. Dad never had to bear that kind of burden alone. You had it harder than him.
That's not right.
The crystals were just crystals, like I thought.
We were here before, but this wall wasn't. Unless
Where are the moles?
the tunnels are changing.
Ooh, yeah. I remember exactly how they said that in the animated series, so it was just like...
All these challenges, games, tests, none that make any sense.
Nothing has made sense in 100 years.
The Bumi I know, a fun-loving, happy kid who loves to skip rocks and always thinks about his friends. I believe that kid is still in there.
More fun to goof off, am I right? Well, let's play one final game. As promised, one final game to play, Avatar. You versus me. To the death.
To the death.
I knew the crystals were wrong.
Can we do I told you so later? Any chance I imagined that?
If only. Yep.
Imaginable.
It's always so wild how firebenders can just bend like that. And like waterbenders and earthbenders, they need to have water or earth around.
We've all seen enough death.
That's what you get for showing an earthbender compassion.
We need to go.
I think you should rest.
No time. We have to leave now.
But the Avatar.
Thanks. Dead end.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry, too.
What's going on? Are we dead?
Oh, the love. Yeah.
Brightest in the dark. It's blind. They don't navigate by sight, but by feeling. They sense feelings and react to them. Mostly love. Love is brightest in the dark.
Excuse me, Mr. Badgermole. We'd really appreciate if you could show us the way to the palace, please.
Here we go. I always love that moment when you realize Bumi is pretty fucking powerful and not an old foolish king. Or both, but you know what I mean.
Oh, but I do. That's what it means to be in a war.
Oof.
You left us. You were the Avatar, and you left us. Especially your friends. As fun as this has been, it's time for the games to end.
Ooh.
Bumi, I can't hold both of them. Help me!
Let it fall. Let it fall. And you win. One that requires you to make impossible choices. Do I save this town or that? Who gets the last of the food scraps? You have to make choices like that day after day, year after year, and that's you have to save the whole world. Let it fall, Aang. No! Then the world is doomed.
Zuko, get the king!
Oh, nice slide.
Are you okay?
Well, kid, you sure know how to bring the house down.
You cheated!
You were wrong. You can rely on your friends. And that's the only way I'm gonna save the world. With my friends.
You think like a child.
He is a child.
Is that really so bad? Remember this? I use it to call a friend. That's what I'm gonna do now. Call on an old friend. You're right. I wasn't here for the world, or for you. But I'm here now. What's going on?
Fire Nation forces are on the move.
You're under attack?
We will be ready. Fortunately, a storm tipped us off. So it's time we must you rejoin the war. Oh, but I do have one more challenge.
Oh god. Oh my god. Hey, but is it just me? Or like, didn't in the animated series, like the one band, didn't they join them through the tunnels? Or did I forget that wrong? I felt like they did, and then there was a whole thing that the fire was gonna go out and they didn't have any light left, and...
We are always getting on or off boats. Perhaps that is our lot in life, Prince Zuko. Ah, good. It's not too late.
What are you doing here, Uncle?
Same as you. Getting ready to embark on what is sure to be a memorable journey.
You want to come with me?
I've come fully prepared. All the tea I need.
I don't need a babysitter.
How about a friend?
My father made it very clear that I'm not to return until I find the Avatar. It could be a very long time before we return home.
I think that's all fine by him.
Everything I need is on this boat.
I feel like the words Zuko said when his son died really meant something to him. And he didn't have much left there anyways after his son's death.
What is it, Zuko?
Nothing. Let's get you home.
Okay, I have to say we saw less of Jet than I expected to. I thought they would like kinda end his story the way they did in the animated series. I'm kinda sad about that because the whole thing with the old man he wanted to kill in the end, that is something that really like touched me as a child, and that's something I really related him to that event, and we didn't see that. So I don't know if it's still coming, but they left now. So she said like goodbye Jet, and she was in the ice, and yeah, that was kind of it. Also, the tunnels weren't that storyline was not as big as I remembered. I feel like it was a nice episode, but it all felt a little rushed to me. I really like how they casted Bumi. I think, yeah, it was Bumi. Yeah, you can't say anything else about it. That was just Bumi. I don't know, I liked the episode, but I kind of feel like I didn't feel it as much as the other ones or something. It was just like, it was fine and all, but I felt like some things were missing, and yeah, I didn't have that strong emotions with this one as I had with the previous 3. But yeah, next to that, I just had fun watching it, but it felt like there weren't like any big events happening right now. And I felt like in the other 3 episodes, it was like some bigger events happening, also because we got introduced to characters we hadn't seen yet, and it was just all a bit of more of a happening, you know? I do like that we got the sort of backstory on how Iroh joined Zuko. That was really, yeah, it was emotional to me, because of course we also saw the flashback where Iroh lost his son. Of course, that's really a big thing for that character, and we saw how Zuko handled that, and yeah, I think that was mostly the reason why in the end he decided to go with Zuko. Of course, Zuko kind of reminds him of his own son, but his own son isn't there anymore, and just the word Zuko said, the medal he gave Iroh from his son, that was just, I think for him, enough reason to go with him. Of course, Iroh never really agreed with Ozai banishing him, so yeah, that was really nice to see. I'm a little disappointed in the tunnel storyline, because I remember as a kid, the tunnel storyline, that was crazy, man, and I just didn't feel it that much. It all felt very easy, like, oh yeah, we hold hands one time, oh, it's about love, oh yeah, okay, we're there, nice. So yeah, I feel like it was rushed, like I said before. I did like the fight between Aang and Bumi, yeah, especially how he handled it in the end, and it was just like, yeah, the friends, Sokka and Katara came, so he was just like, yeah, I rely on my friends, and that's how I'm gonna fight this war too. And in the end, when he said those things to Bumi, and he gave him the whistle, I think that kind of touched him, and he changed his mind, and he was like, yeah, I see what you're doing here, I see what you're saying. So that was also nice to see. Oh, and I think the storyline with Iroh and the Earthbender was really interesting. But I already kind of expressed my feelings about that. But it's always with Iroh, like, everyone loves Iroh. He's just like this cute uncle, you know. But I also still always try to remember, like, yeah, he is Fire Nation, and he did fight wars, and he did do bad things. Yeah, but yeah, it's still like the way we know Iroh. Yeah, his past may be a little dark and all, but yeah, it's still Uncle Iroh, you know, so you still feel bad for him. But it was very interesting to see that, and to just kind of feel that conflict, because you really understand where this guy is coming from. So yeah, I don't think I have much more to say though. I'm just thinking like about all the things that happened. There is one more thing I wanted to mention, which I completely forgot, and I already did an outfit change and all, because I recorded the previous episode earlier this day. One thing I forgot to mention is that they made Oma and Shu gay, and I really like that. It was like such a subtle change, but it was so nice to see. I thought that was such a like beautiful thing to do, because of course like Avatar came out yeah, like a while back in the time where there was barely any representation at all, and I feel like if there would have been more representation in my time, that would have meant a lot to me. And then you see like Korra came out a little later, and it was still like not a lot of representation, barely anything. It was already pretty ahead of its time, but it had like these gay elements. And then especially like after the last season, when you get the comic and all, then you just know, okay, Korra is a very gay show, you know? But like in Atla, there is no gay characters that we know of. And of course it's a little unrealistic if there's only straight characters, because that's just not how the world works, you know? Not everyone is straight. So I think it was like really nice, really subtle. They didn't make any drastic gender bend changes, you know? It was just like a subtle gender change for a character that was only mentioned once. So yeah, it was so subtle, but it meant something to me. So that was really nice. I'm just really excited for them to get to the north to see Yue, of course. I'm very excited for her. And yeah, for the rest, I'm just gonna see what's gonna happen, see what comes to us. Trying not to hope too much for too many things because I don't want to get disappointed or anything. I have to say I got just a little bit disappointed by this episode, but I'm still, excited for the rest. So yeah, I think that was my reaction. And if you already want to see more of my Avatar The Last Airbender reactions, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in the description, and there you can find early access to more episodes. And you can see my uncut reactions, so my full reactions to the episodes. And if you like this reaction, then please leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you thought of it, and then I really hope to see you next time. Bye!